Hey everyone, I'm Egoqueenalexis and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm super excited about this because I got my copy of The Ritual of the Damned. Ooh. So, joining me on this merry adventure into the Dark Angels as well as the Thousand Suns and the more forgotten Grey Knights, we are joined by both White and John.
Yo.
Howdy.
So, John, White, thank you for joining me. As always, you guys are awesome.
No.
So, we're going to
Know
dive
you.
right into this. The Ritual of the Damned. So, if you don't know what the Ritual of the Damned is, don't worry. Barely anybody knows the actual fluff of this. So, White, have you gotten a synopsis of the fluff itself?
Well,
So
let's
that's a
see.
no.
Well, I know the prelude, but
I know.
what
I know.
actually happens in the book.
Yeah, like there's something regarding Magnus safe havening, creating a safe haven for psychers
Well, because
prosecuted by the.
you got all these psychers popping up, and the Imperium's being the Imperium about them. So Magnus, because he's got both Prospero and every planet he was on now right next to each other. He's like, okay, we're gonna get all these psychers here and do some ritual shenanigans to apparently put the psychic awakening into overdrive. And the Dark Angels and the Grey Knights are all like, no.
Alright, so that's pretty simple.
It's typical bad guy doing bad thing. Go beat him up.
Ooh, do we wanna spoil the ending of it? Or should that be another video in its entirety? Would you guys actually watch a review of the lore in this book? If you would, please
Yep.
tell me. Because that could actually be a lot of fun.
And also, you could include stuff about the lore from the previous psychic awakenings.
That is true. We could do a review of all the lore that we have going on right now. So that could be awesome. See if I can actually get some lighting in here. So, nope, that just makes me look even more pale. Sorry about that. I'm going to look red. So, I mean, Magnus is in here. So I guess it's in the spirit, right?
Oh,
Omegon Lives says, Magnus, we need those brain boys for the Golden Throne.
So this begs the question, is Magnus doing the right thing? Is he doing the wrong thing? Or is he just being manipulated like he always is? I'm going with the latter. I think he's being manipulated.
I think the answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Zinch, sitting in the background. Yes. All right.
Let's see.
So, one of the first things that I want to go over is the mission in here. Because I thought that this was super interesting and I haven't seen anybody talk about it. The Theater of War Demon World. Now, this I have been waiting for because there hasn't been anything allude to a demon world, how to play a demon world in this game at all. And it's taken from the earlier editions, like 6th and 7th edition, where you got to play these crazy missions. So now we actually have Demon World rules. And I gotta say, for narrative purposes, this sounds incredible and I want to play it. And I know the exact two people I want to play against with this. And that would be Riley, of course, with her Slanesh army. And then the not as important Slanesh army, Whites.
Yee.
I like how you're just like, I'm included.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you, obviously. So,
Like that gets me excited.
yeah, because this is one of the missions that I'm excited to do. So we have the rule of Hellish Landscape and Demon World. At the start of each battle round, roll 1d6 and apply the results shown. Now, this could be played in addition to any tabletop that you play on. So you could be doing a random mission and just go, hey, do you want to do a Demon World? And you can. Also, I am going to try to fix this light real quick because it is making me super red and that is weird. And I don't know why it's doing that. And it's going to continue to do that. So my lighting in here sucks today. So I apologize.
Well, trying to bring that up every time I play the game now.
So there's a d6 results, and you roll these at the beginning of the battle round. Wow, this, you know what? Screw it. This light, it hates me. I hate everything. Be gone, light. And you know what? This is going to just not look good. It's because I have this light up here. Lighting. It's tough. I will fix this one day.
No, Alexis, the light is making you go faster.
I know, right? Okay, so D6 result of 1. The gods grow bored. Nothing happens. Isn't that exciting?
Yee.
Warped terrain. Each player selects one terrain feature, starting with the player who has the first turn. Roll a d6 for each model that starts or ends their controlling player's movement phase on or within 1 inch of a terrain feature. For each roll of a 1, that model's unit suffers 1 mortal wound. The result lasts until the end of the battle round. So if you have a squad of 30 boys on a piece of terrain, holy crap, they are obliterated by this. You could actually roll quite a few 1s on this and actually lose quite a few units. So I think this is really super interesting, especially for armies that hide in the back or, who rely on this types of saves. But there's something about this. Demons are not affected by this.
What?
No. As in, they don't use terrain for saves.
That's right.
They only use a 5+. So all the armies that hide on terrain now have to worry about you rolling a 2, and then all of a sudden, 1 mortal wound. You roll a die equal to the number of models on it, and every 1 you roll is a mortal wound for that unit. So you can actually hit your big giant squads. Like if you have a 10-man squad and you lose 2 guys to mortal wounds, that's actually pretty big. It could also start forcing leadership checks on smaller squads and everything. So we got that going for us. Number 3, Fury of the Chaos Gods. This I like also. These are all fun, by the way. Each player rolls 1d6, selecting that many different enemy units, and rolls 1d6 for each of those units. On a 6, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds, or 1 mortal wound if it is a character, with a wounds characteristic less than 9. So, just free wounds, just going wherever you feel like.
Jeez.
And it's so good, though. Like, it's so fluffy, and I love this. Like, I think that this is terrific. So, the next one we have is Winds of Chaos. Wow, this actually just doesn't have any, lore to it. The psychic energies emerge across it. Okay. In your psychic phase, you can reroll 1 psychic test made for each psyker. If a psyker suffers Perils of the Warp, they suffer 3 mortal wounds instead of d3. This result lasts until the end of the battle round. So, just flat out, just smacked for 3 wounds. So, it's like, I get to reroll all of my tests, but if I Perils... ugh...
So it's like both armies are just gonna blow up before they even get to each other.
I know, right? It's so much fun. Okay, then we have Ebb and Flow of Fate. This is a result of 5. Roll a d6. On a 1 through 3, worsen the invulnerable saves by 1. Just flat. So demons go to a 6-up invulnerable save. Sisters of Battle go to a 5+ invulnerable save. And it overall just hurts all armies. It stops at a... Okay, then on a 4 through 6, improve all invulnerable saves to a max of 3+. So you could have a Keeper of Secrets Warp Surged with a 3+ invo save. Big brain move.
Big brain. Oh.
Or you can have a unit of 30 with a 3+ invulnerable save if you warp surge them.
I just gotta make sure something.
Then if you roll a 6, you get Chaos Ascendant. Roll twice on this table and apply both results. If both results are the same, you re-roll it. That's awesome! Oh, I love it. I love this mission. This is the coolest thing ever. I think this is so much fun, and I want to add it to more narrative campaigns. I want to add this to actual, big games that we're having where the warp may rift into reality. And I think all Chaos players should include this at least once in their experience playing the game. Because this is just so much fun. That's the big thing. Big thing is fun. Have fun with your games. Then we have Theater of War, which is another type of game. This is Theater of War, Plains of Glass, and it actually moves terrain, which I think is cool. Has 3 stratagems, but overall I kind of passed it up. Then we have the Echoes of War, Break the Ritual. And this mission I thought was a little bit silly. It has a point in the middle where you can't actually move into for the Grey Knight player. It's strictly Grey Knights versus Thousand Suns. If Magnus, victory condition, at the end of the battle, if Magnus Red has been destroyed and a psychic unit from the attacking army is within 5 inches of the objective marker, the attacker wins. Otherwise, the defender wins. It's, yeah. Then we have some new stratagems for the Echoes of War, which I think are pretty neat, but overall, just, you guys got to look at those at your own thing. Because the big stuff that I want to get to is the Dark Angels. Now, my favorite Space Marine chapter out of all the chapters is the Dark Angels. They are so much fun. Like, I absolutely love the Dark Angels. I might actually start using my Primaris Marines exclusively as Dark Angels as a successor. But we'll have to see how it works out. So, essentially, this is a rewrite of their entire codex, giving them all of the new stuff, all of the bolter disciplines, the command doctrines, and things of that nature, and litanies. And we're going to get through all of this. We're actually going to attack all of this, and I love all the Dark Angel stuff. So, right off the bat, Master Lazarus. I don't know how I feel about him, so let's go over him real quick. Let's go over him real quick. Okay, Master Lazarus. Weapon skill, movement 6+, weapon skill, ballistic skill of 2+, strength toughness of 4, wounds 6, attacks 5, leadership 9, 3+ save. He's armed with his Enmity Edge. Really? His sword's name is Enmity. GW, you've made some bad puns with weapons, but holy cow! Anonymity. Anyway, so his sword is good against Psychers. It gets to reroll its damage roll against Psychers, but overall it's a strength 6 AP -4 D3 damage weapon, and it's okay. It's not the best. He's armed with just a generic bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades otherwise. He also has the Spirit Shield helm. I don't get it with Dark Angels why their helmets are so important, but apparently they are. They never wear the special helmet, by the way. They always carry it with them. They, like the Watcher in the Dark carries Azrael's helmet. One day he'll remember to put it on. Otherwise, the Watcher in the Dark is just sitting there like, Azrael, you might actually want this. It gives everybody next to you a 4+ save. Kinda could be useful. And Azrael's like, no, you scare me, and runs away. But now Master Lazarus, he carries his in his arms like it's a precious baby. I mean, putting it on your head is silly, so you don't need to do that. By the way, Master Lazarus is $40, and gets my opinion on that. So, the Spirit Shield Helm. This is his special ability that, when a model in a friendly Dark Angel unit within 6 inches of this model would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, strictly a mortal wound. On a 5+, that wound is not lost. So it's feel no pain versus mortal wounds. Which, to be honest, is a little bit situational.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good. But I don't know why you would take Master Lazarus over Azrael, or maybe a jump captain, like a smash captain is just, it just seems better in my opinion because it has all the other rules. It has Inner Circle, it has Angels of Death, it has Rites of Battle, and it has a jump pack, so it has 12-inch movement with a Thunder Hammer. If you decide to give it the Thunder Hammer, you could give it the Relic Sword, which is Strength 6, AP -3, D3 damage, so essentially the same weapon. except this one's AP -4, so yeah. I don't know how I feel about Master Lazarus. I think he's cool. Like, his model looks fantastic. I think he's one of the best looking Primaris Marines out there. His dress is very fancy. It has good lining done to it, and it is very well kept. So he washes his dress very well. But overall, I think that I would try him out a few times. But I feel like you can make Master Lazarus really quickly out of the Primaris. If you wanted to convert him and try him out for yourself, here's what I suggest. You simply get the helm from the Ravenwing upgrade sprue. You can actually get a helm with the tassel thingies on it. You put that on his head for his actual head, and you just get a Primaris guy and just use the Primaris upgrade kit for the Dark Angels to make him. So overall, you can make him pretty cheap, but if you wanted to buy his model, which looks drop dead gorgeous, by the way, I probably will wind up getting his model because I like pretty models. Check it out. Oh, the helm comes standard with the upgrade kit as well. Wow. Okay, there you go. Buy the Primaris upgrade kit and you can get him. So, Master Lazarus, cool addition. We get some new lore. He is a Primaris in the inner circle. He's accepted by his brethren. The Primaris Marines are accepted by the Dark Angels, which I think is cool. They didn't do the whole Civil War thing. So next up, sorry about that. Next up, we have the Interrogator Chaplain. So typical chaplain, it's pretty much the exact same as a regular chaplain. He just has one additional wound, which is worth it, in my opinion, because actually he has the same wounds as a Primaris chaplain.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get an Interrogator Primaris chaplain to have 6 wounds? No? No, we can't.
If one with 6 wounds, you have to put him in Terminator armor.
And that's probably how I'm going to field mine, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because Terminator armor is actually pretty useful for them. Actually, no, it's not, because it's at the start of the battle round and you deep strike him in on your movement phase. You don't actually get the litanies, so... Alright, so the litanies happen at the start of the battle round. We're going to get into those in just a second, but let's go over the stat line. Pretty similar. It's +1 wound for an Interrogator Chaplain. That's pretty much it. I honestly expected him to have Leadership 10. Best Warhammer channel on YouTube. Thank you. That's an okay. But let's keep going over this guy. Weapon options is pretty much the standard chaplain weapons. Give him a Stormbolter. Stormbolters are really good. They're dirt cheap, so it's 2-point upgrade. His weapon is a Power Fist or a Corrosius Arcanum. He actually can get both, so you can put a couple of attacks into Corrosius Arcanum and then a few attacks into the Power Fist, if you choose to outfit him that way. Personally, I don't, because I typically use my chaplains as a support instead of an assault HQ. So he typically goes up with them, and then he will pick off chaff if needed.
Alexis, but the way it's worded, you can give an Interrogator Chaplain double Power Fist.
Wait, is it worded that way?
Well, okay, so how the Interrogator Chaplain is they can replace their Bolt Pistol with a piece of Warrior, then they can just also take a Power Fist in addition to it.
You could actually double Power Fist action. Okay.
Oh, geez.
So he has the standard loadout for a chaplain that we're all used to at this point. He has the litanies. He has the Aura of Dread, which is the -1 leadership, which, if you guys know anything about this edition, leadership is not important. It's not. I'm sorry. Leadership builds don't work. Like, the best leadership build was in Gene Stealer Cult, and that got bombed heavily.
Yeah, but like when it's already worth it for like the extra woo and the more Warrior options for just 8 more points than a normal chaplain, it's like
So you go up 10 points to get the Stormbolter, and give him a jump pack, because that way he can keep up with the Ravenwing bikers, because they took away his bike because he was naughty and got into a fight with his other brothers. And he didn't pray hard enough to get his bike back yet. Maybe one day they will get their bikes back. But as of right now, they don't have bikes. And that is a shame. which also means they can't get Raven Wing, by the way. Okay, moving on. We have the Primaris Chaplain. Essentially the same thing. 5 wounds, no war gear options really, just the standard Primaris Space Marine upgrades where it's barely anything. But it's more or less... Actually, I don't think he has any war gear options. He's just what you see is what you get. Yeah, that's it. So let's go to what makes Chaplains cool, and let's talk about the litanies of litany. Because these guys like to sing songs that are pretty and lovely, and it inspires their brethren to do better. They are essentially now a bard. Have fun knowing that a chaplain, this skull-faced annihilator of 40k, is actually a dude with a fiddle. Have fun with
Probably
that.
the BG.
Alright, so let me go ahead and get something that I can use as a place marker. Okay, litanies of battle. So first off, they all have one litany just given to them, and that is the litany of hate. If this litany is inspiring... I'm just going to say this now. I'm just going to say 3+ on a 3+ instead of is this litany inspiring, which is dumb as hell. So on a 3+, you can reroll the hit rolls for attacks made by melee weapons by models in friendly Dark Angel units while stay within 6 inches of this duder. Okay? Pretty simple. It's his bog standard old ability, but now you need to roll it on a 3+. If you know anything about 7th and below, that was the standard ability of a chaplain. So, we have the Litany of Faith. I believe that this is just a rehashed one, but with Dark Angels inserted into it.
Yeah, that's what most of them are.
Yeah, so on a 3+, when this model in a friendly Dark Angel unit When a model in a friendly Dark Angel units within 6 inches of this model would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound on a 5+, it's not ignored. It doesn't stack with any of the other ignoring abilities, so I apologize about that. It's just not. So you don't get your double feel no pain against psychic attacks, which would actually make it good, but you don't use this one. Catechism of Fire. On a 3+, select one friendly Dark Angel unit within 6 inches of this model. When resolving attacks made with its ranged weapons by a model in that unit, the closest visible unit to the battlefield, add 1 to the wound rolls. Now, this is really good for your Hellblaster units. By the way, Dark Angels, take Hellblasters. Take a unit of 10 Hellblasters. Thank me later when you finally realize what they do, because you activate a whole bunch of things on them. Like the plasma stratagem, whose name I can't remember, Dark Age of Technology, I think it is. And your plasma weapons just deal like 4 damage minimum. They're insane. I think it's actually 3 damage, but still, it's insane amounts of firepower that they can have. If you go with the Devastator Doctrine, they have AP -5, so literally nothing gets a save from them, unless they have an info save, in which case they do. But, yeah. Exoration of Rage. On a 3+, select one friendly Dark Angel unit within 6 inches of this model. When resolving attacks made with melee weapons by a model in that unit, an unmodified hit roll of a 6, you can make 1 additional attack against the same unit using the same weapon. This additional attack cannot generate additional attacks. Another attack. So what this means is you actually have to pick up another die and roll for an attack, instead of like the Imperial Fist, which automatically add it. So keep that in mind for the future. This one's actually pretty decent, especially if you cast it on a Hellblaster unit, an Eliminator unit, or Intercessor units, because let's face it, actually no, on a Stormbolter unit of bikes would be insane.
Alexis, didn't you say it said melee weapon?
I am dumb and thinking of the first one, so yes, melee weapons, so you can cast this on your Terminators, as well as your Raven Wing Bikers that are called the
Knights?
Black Knights. Thank you. Thank you, brain. I am glad that I have that. And by that I mean white.
a appropriate substitute.
Yeah, it is appropriate substitute. Thank you, white.
Oh, welcome.
So, the next one, number 4, Mantra of Strength. On a 3+, add 1 to this model's attack and strength characteristic. In addition, add 1 to the damage characteristic of melee weapons that model is equipped with. So again, if you want to field Black Knights, or you want to field a full unit...
That only affects the chaplain.
What? Oh
Yeah.
my god, never mind. This one went from really good to bad. Like, yeah, this one went from I was seeing combos with it like Terminators might be good, and then White's over here like, no, Terminators are not good, Alexis, stop it.
Oh.
Okay, so that one's mediocre. So far, the Catechism of Fire is probably the best one that I've read. Let's see. Number 5. If this litany is inspiring, so on a 3+, select one friendly Dark Angel unit within 6 inches of this model. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model that unit, add 1 to the hit roll. So your normal units that are hitting on 2+, now hit on 3s. Now hit on... Wow, I did that backwards. I apologize. Your normal units that are hitting on 3+ hit on 2s. This also means that it's just add 1 to the hit roll. It also means that plasma can never overheat. So that's kind of good. So your big 10-man blob of Hellblasters could just fire freely. And you can reroll the 1s, so you never have to fear of your guys dying. So number 5 is pretty good. Canticle of Hate. I think they stole this from the AdMech. On a 3+, add 2 to the charge roll made for friendly Dark Angel units whilst they are within 6 inches of this model. Ooh, it doesn't say pick one. It just says... Ooh, it's Dark Angel units while they're within... Okay. When a friendly Dark Angel unit makes a pile-in or a consolidation move within 6 inches of this model... Models in that unit can move up to an additional 3 inches. This is not cumulative. Okay? So they can move 6 inches with their consolidation. That means that they can target units that are further away, which is ridiculously good if you know anything about that. Look at the Custodians, for instance, and how they get to pile in and consolidate 6 inches with certain abilities, which is insane. They can get really, really far across the board. But this actually is really good for if you have a jump chaplain that has moved up the board and you're on turn 2 and no, Terminators are still not good. I am trying to make Terminators good. I am trying my best. But if you're running a Black Knight squad and you have a full squad of 5, you can add 2 inches to the charge move. Is there a Phobos chaplain? No, there isn't a Phobos chaplain.
No.
Damn, that would be good. How would I use this ability? So I guess if you rocket up the field turn 1, use Speed of the Raven, and then use another ability so that you can charge after you advance, and somehow manage to... You have to do it at the beginning of the battle round, so it's a lot of guesswork. Is this one actually good? So this is like a turn 2 one, so if you're Terminator... No, because... Is this like a late game one? How would I use this one? So like I'm trying to think about this. Like, okay, so you move up the field 12 inches. So the best thing that I can think of is you put it on a unit of bikes. That unit of bikes rockets up the field and then gets +2 to their charge.
Well, like...
No, they have to be within 6 inches of this model. This is just not good.
Well, like a chaplain with a jump pack following Black Knights.
Yeah, I guess. But you have to do this at the beginning. So, since all the litanies are at the beginning of the battle round, I don't think that this one's that good unless you're on turn 2, turn 3. So, I'm probably not going to give my guy this. Yeah. So then there's the Dark Angel one. On a 3+, when a friendly Dark Angel infantry unit that is within 6 inches of this unit and did not advance or fall back in this turn is chosen to shoot with, that is a lot of ifs and ands. Models in that unit can shoot with ranged weapons as though they remain stationary. So as though they remain stationary also kicks in their other rule, which allows them to reroll 1s. So that's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, wouldn't heavy weapons work with this?
Yes, but that's assuming that you're moving with your heavy weapons, which in this case, if you're rocketing 36-inch Hell Blasters, actually, I think they're 30-inch. You move up that 6 inches, you're within range of most of the board. You pop this, so your Hell Blaster unit can now fire with everything. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Heck yeah.
But to be honest, I think I would take the one that's +2 to wound and the normal Litany of Hate. Those seem to be the best in my opinion. So the litanies are a little bit discouraging in my opinion, but overall they can be very, very, very good and situational. So it really depends on how you build your army, whether or not you're going to include a chaplain or not. Personally, I still think as a 3+, the chaplains are not worth it, because if they fail, you're drastically out of positioning.
That's one thing I wanted to ask. Do chaplains have anything that can, like, boost their roll to see if people hear them? Because Dark Apostles do.
So there might be a relic or something that does that. We'd have to check those later, but as of right now, let's assume that it's a 3+. In which case, I don't think it's really that worth it. Personally, I don't think it's worth it to take a chaplain with Space Marines. And a lot of people say that I'm wrong. And a lot of people are building their armies around chaplains. And I'm like, yeah, but... Okay, granted you have a 75% chance of getting it because of roll plus reroll with a command point. Actually, I think it's 70%.
67%.
67%. I don't think it's worth it. It's too risky, in my opinion. So, moving on, we have the Master and Phobos armor. He just got an update to have additional wounds and everything. He has 6 wounds. He's got no war gear options. He just has what he has, which is interesting, to say the least. He has a mastercrafted Instigator Bolt Carbine, which is strength 4, AP -2, 3 damage. It's an assault weapon, so if you pop the doctrines, you can actually hit a little bit better with this guy, or a little bit harder with this guy. But overall, I would stick to a jump chaplain, or a jump character, a little bit more than the Phobos or Primaris, because the regular captains just seem a little bit better in my opinion. Though the Phobos armor and the Primaris offer more survivability in terms of taking damage, but the other one can get a storm shield, which means that he's more survivable. He can also take a jump pack, so his movement is further, and he has an infinite vertical movement, plus having the fly keyword means he can attack aircrafts. So the Phobos characters are there in case you have them, and, you feel like running them and want to run them, but overall I would still stick to my generic character with jump pack, insert Thunderhammer or power weapon or relic weapon here to make them better, in Storm Shield, because Storm Shield. The cool thing about the Phobos armor is they can appear 9 inches away, and this can be extremely useful. They also have the Omni Scrambler, so no infiltrator units can show up within 12 inches of them. It's definitely neat, but I don't think it's worth it. I know that's weird to say, but the Dark Angels have Auspex scans, so they can shoot something that just pops in. And yeah, it's ifs and ends, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. Like, what do you guys think of the Phobos Marines versus these regular generic Space Marine characters? Personally, I think the Space Marine characters are a little bit better. So next up we have the Lieutenants in Phobos armor. They're a Lieutenant in Phobos armor. That's pretty much what they are. They don't really get anything new for the Dark Angels. They have Angels of Death. They actually don't have Inner Circle, which I think is cool. Inner Circle is very, very hit and miss. Like the Primaris Chaplain doesn't have Inner Circle, by the way. Does the Interrogator have Inner Circle? He does. Oh, there's no Interrogator Chaplain that's in Primaris armor, so that's interesting. That is actually interesting.
Yeah, Lazarus is the only one that should have Inner Circle as well. That is a Primaris.
Without spending the command point. Well,
yeah.
Librarians have Inner Circle, I think. Let me double check.
Yeah, they do. Librarian in Phobos armor has Inner Circle. So next
Okay.
up, we're actually up to the librarians in Phobos armor. So let's take a look at these, shall we? So it's the
At least I'm a
typical.
lady.
This is the Milady Marine, and I love him.
Ah.
So the librarian in Phobos armor has the exact same stat line as the librarian in Phobos armor from any of the other books now. We're pretty much accustomed to this. There's no war gear options. There's Psyker, and he can take from... He can manifest 2 psychic powers, which means he can manifest more than a Hive Tyrant, and attempt to deny 1 psychic power. He knows Smite and psychic powers from the Obscurus discipline. Or what is that? Yeah.
I think that's what.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So let's take a look at the Obscurus disciplines and see how good those are. I've read through these earlier and I didn't think that they were terrific, but I didn't think that they were bad. So let's take a look, shall we? Obscurus
It's the Lord of
disciplines.
Stealth.
So number 1 is Shrouding. Warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select 1 Dark Angel Phobos unit within 18 inches of the Psyker. Now, this doesn't have to be visible to the Psyker, by the way. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, enemy models can only shoot that unit if it is the closest target that is visible to them, or they are firing Overwatch. So this is actually very interesting, but also defeats the purpose of Phobos Marines, because Phobos Marines are meant to get in close or sit in the back and just mess with your opponent's deep striking. So I guess it's good for them, but at the same time, the only Phobos Marines you're going to be playing with Dark Angels is the Librarian, the Captain, the Lieutenant, and the Eliminators. And that's pretty much it. So I don't think that this ability is that good on them, because if you put it on a character, it's pretty good, because... Wait, actually it doesn't do anything if it's on a character, does it? No.
It just
No.
Phobos.
The character trait would protect them then.
Yeah. So a character can body block for a unit,
Jeez.
if you wanted to do that. Ooh, wait a minute. Does this affect one of the... Oh, this would be funny. This would be really funny. No, it doesn't. I was going to see if the Invictus actually has the Phobos keyword.
God damn it.
So I don't think Shrouding is that good, because you're going to use it on Eliminators. And to be honest, that doesn't sound that good, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So next one, Soul Sight. Has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select 1 Dark Angel Phobos unit within 18 inches of the Psyker. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, when resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model in this unit, you can reroll the hit roll, and the target does not receive the benefits of cover saving throw. Now that's really cool,
That's
except the one unit of Phobos Marines already has that as a generic ability, and the other unit isn't that good. So
Eliminators have it?
it's again, you use this on Eliminators. So yeah.
Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, like all of these, the only thing I can use as a buff for them is use it on an Eliminator unit, because those are Phobos Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Mind Raid has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested,
That's
select...
not where I thought I was going.
If manifested, select 1 enemy unit within 18 inches that is visible to the Psyker. That model's unit suffers 1 mortal wound. If your army is battle forged and that model is a character, roll 3d6. If the result is equal to or greater than that character's leadership characteristic, you gain 1 command point. So this isn't that good.
I mean,
No, this is bad.
what's the warp charge on it?
It's warp charge value of 6, but you're already wasting a smite. I would rather do D3 mortal wounds and actually get something that's more beneficial than something that isn't. Having the +1 command point sounds good up until practice. You're going to be gaining 1 command point with Dark Angels regardless. If you use a psychic power, you're not really gaining anything. Your army has to be battle forged, and you have to eat toast on a Tuesday in order to get this ability to work. So, to be honest, I don't think that I wouldn't take this. This is not worth the time to cast it. Because if you're going to... It's 1 damage to a character, big deal.
Can it just target characters?
It can target characters. But since you're running a Milady Marine with this, you're actually already within 9 inches. You can pretty much, if you just use your bolters right, clear the target out and kill him immediately. Or you could just shoot him with eliminators, and your problem is solved. So, to be honest, Mind Raid is completely useless in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong about that, and I do admit that I do make some mistakes every now and then. If you think that this is good, please tell me. I would like to know. But personally, 1 damage and 1 command point, not worth it.
Because, like, Dark Angels already have a psychic power called Mind Worm that can just target characters like this and do a mortal wound. But instead it makes so that character always fights last no matter what, even if they charged.
Which is way better.
Yeah, so just taking Terramancy.
And there's also ways of getting command points back with a Warlord trait that they already have, so there's no point to taking this. And you can't gain more than 1 command point on your turn, so it's... Alright, Hallucination. Has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select 1 enemy unit within 18 and visible to the Psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of that model of the models in that unit, so it's bad. Your opponent then rolls 2d6. If the result is greater than the highest leadership characteristic of the models in that unit, then until the start of your next psychic phase, when resolving an attack made with a weapon by a model with this unit, you subtract 1 from the hit rolls.
That's no.
Like, once again,
2d6 on against leadership? Nah.
So hear me out on this one. If you balance the army correct, you can give somebody a -3. The average is 9. That goes down to a 6. The average on 2d6 is 7. So if the stars align, this ability might actually be really, really, really good.
I mean, the Inquisition has a bunch of these modifying psychic powers, and none of them are good. You just take Terrify.
Once again, like, so I could just have a psychic power that goes after leadership again, and if the test is over 10, you add 2 to this test to exceed their leadership, and if you do, they take mortal wounds.
Again, this is one of those abilities where it's like, well, if you eat toast on Tuesday and actually shoot somebody on Wednesday, by Thursday you'll have your ability. Because it's one of those things where if you meet this requirement and this requirement and this requirement, you get to do something. But if your opponent just goes, I'll roll 2d6, all right, I need a 7, I got it. And you just look at them going like this, well, I wasted a smite. Again, it always boils down to, is smite better? And more often, most of the time, it's smite is better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then again, like most other psychic powers seem balanced around the fact that you don't need to shoot the closest.
Hold on a second.
All right, so number 5.
Wait,
can
I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Add one thing. So hallucination makes it so almost that unit get -1 to hit, but Dark Angels has a psychic power called Aversion, where you just pick an enemy unit and they get -1 to hit. Like, you don't have to test or anything.
So it could be cool to actually get, like, -2 on a unit so that they're hitting on a 4+, or if they're already hitting on a 4+, they have to hit on 6s. But again, you might as well just kill the unit or shoot it down to combat inefficiency. Oh, thank you.
The thing about this...
Ooh, nice. Debuffing stuff and all that is all well and good, but instead of debuffing him, you might as well just kill him.
Well, like, the thing... Like, this you clearly use early because its range is 24 inches. While the hallucination window is only 18 inches.
But you are also starting 9 inches away from your opponent.
Oh, yeah, because...
You want me to read the super chat?
Yes, go ahead.
Good day, McQueen. I'm mounting the Noise Marine on a dreadnought for a walking stage. What could I use for speakers? Current plan is to alter missile arms and green stuff them. Praise Lanesh.
Hell yeah.
All right, that actually sounds really awesome, to be honest.
I'm trying to think of something that looks like a speaker. What if you get, missile pods and you just cut off the missile bits?
And then just put, the felt stuff there? That could work.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like get the not the whirlwind missile launcher. Get the missile launcher from Forge World that goes on to dreadnoughts. Cut off its missiles and put your speakers in.
If you have the right tool for it, you might be able to turn it into a cone, so it looks like a speaker cone.
All right, so let's get back to this. Number 5 has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit that cannot fly and is within 18 inches and visible to the Psyker. So this cannot target a Smash Captain. That unit suffers 1 mortal wound. And until the start of your next psychic phase, have that model's movement characteristic and the results of any advance roll or charge roll made for it, rounded up.
So
okay, that is actually useful.
Is the best psychic power that I've ever read.
That can just wreck a Keeper of Secrets.
That can wreck a lot of things. So
yeah, like anything that relies on melee, you hit it with this.
Yep. You hit rhinos that are in front of armies. You hit like big units with this. And since you can just immediately appear within 9 inches of your opponent, this one is really, really, really awesome. And I see a lot of people taking Phobos librarians, like 2 Phobos librarians, and giving this to both of them, casting it once, obviously, but in case one of them dies, they still have it for the next turn. This one is amazing. Like, immediately, if I was going to go first, I would deploy my Phobos Marine, my Phobos Librarian, my Milady Marine, and I would hit a Gene Stealer unit. I would hit a vehicle that's going to skyrocket towards me. I would hit a... actually, this really works on the Repulsor Executioner because it keeps it out of range.
Wait, can't the Repulsor fly, though?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my bad. But this can take tanks out of range, like Vindicators and Predators, depending on what their armament is, obviously. This can actually really hurt an opponent's army, especially if they're doing a guard blob in front of a Imperial Knight, for instance. Now they suddenly can't move out of that knight's way, and that knight is now slowed down. Everything behind that unit is slowed down. Their bubble wrap now becomes a trap for them, which is really, really, really good. This is the power you take, and you cast this and Smite every turn.
Is our Dark Eldar running away from you? Cast this on them.
Yeah. Okay, number 6, Temporal... I have no idea. All right.
Temporal Corridor.
Temporal Corridor has a warp charge value of 7, so this is going to be risky. If manifested, select one friendly Dark Angel Phobos unit within 3 inches of the Psyker. That unit can immediately move as though it was your movement phase, but it cannot fall back as part of its movement and must advance. When the advance roll is made for that advance roll, 3d6, discard 2 of the results, your choice. You cannot use Temporal Corridor on the same unit more than once per psychic phase. So this actually even affects units. This even affects like open play games. This ability is insane. Okay? These are the 2 abilities you want, number 5 and number 6. So number 5, you hit your Ravenwing bike unit. You hit your big giant, your Black Knight unit that has all plasma. You hit them and you rocket them up the field. Like immediately move up the field, then use Speed of the Raven. So, oh wait, no, it's Dark Angel Phobos. Crap, it's bad.
Oh.
Ah, damn it, I did it again. Or I'm like, this unit is really good. Oh wait, no it's not.
You just hear the sound of your dreams being crushed.
I know, I just want bikes to be good.
Oh.
All right. So what can you hit with this?
Does that make Phobos Dream Stealers?
I'm trying to...
Because everything starts within 9 inches. I mean, if you need to get away from people, it could be useful.
I'm going to see something.
Never mind. I thought this ability was a lot better than it was. So take 5 and Smite.
Yep. Done.
Okay.
Or 2 number 9s.
You could take Shrouding if you are surrounded by characters and you want a character to body block for your character. You can do that with Shrouding because it's the closest unit, not the closest character. So in this case, a character can block for a character. My hair is messy. So that's pretty okay. Their Phobos psychic powers aren't that good, but you know, whatever. I give the Phobos psychic powers like a hard, you should try them out if you have a Phobos librarian. If you don't, you're not really missing anything.
It just looks like you should just stick to Interomancy.
Yeah.
No, the Phobos librarians can't take Interomancy. So.
I meant it's like you stick to typical librarians.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because they can mind wipe, and that's fun.
So Asmodai got an additional wound. That's something to point out.
That's good.
He pretty much stayed the same. He adds 1 to the attack characteristics of Dark Angel infantry and bikes, which is really good, but he doesn't have a jump pack, so good luck keeping him up to a bike. So, I mean, you could move and run him, so he moves 9 inches plus deployment, so 21 inches in 1 turn.
Guys, hold up.
Yeah, right?
Wait up, guys. Trying to get to these fallen.
Yeah. See, that's the one problem I have with melee characters that are not in jump packs. They're really cool, but it's like, I put him in a rhino to move him up the board. That sounds really good, up until you realize that his abilities can only activate if he's on the field at the start of the battle round, which means you can't deep strike him. You can't keep him in a transport to keep him safe, and it's literally he has to walk across the battlefield, so you might as well just get a chaplain with a jump pack. Which chaplains with jump packs are in this book, by the way. Just want to point that out.
Oh, that's good. Did they actually Legends lose them, or?
No, they're in the Codex already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I only think 1 chapter got their chaplain legends, and that was Space Wolves. I could be wrong. I know they like to neuter the wolves a lot.
I'm gonna check.
So, next up. Primaris Master gained an additional wound. His war gear got updated. Nothing really big change there. Intercessor squads, their weapons got updated. No real changes. They don't have inner circle. They're really good. You take them with Stalker bolt rifles, or you take them with whatever combination you want, because they're just good. Primaris Marines are just good. I don't know why people have such a fuss about them. Intercessors are incredible in every army. One cool thing about Dark Angels, they don't actually need masters to keep them safe. Or to reroll 1s. They can do that normally by standing still. So if you give them Stalker Bolters, they have a 36-inch range. They take line that's an additional 12-inch. That's 48 inches. Most things are not going to be far enough away to get away from them. You put them in the Devastator Doctrine. They now have AP -4, 3 damage weapons. At strength 3. 2 damage weapons. AP -3. Sorry, my bad. And they're just good. They are just good. I'd say the fuss is fluff-wise, not crunch-wise. Yeah, because crunch-wise, they outperform the Space Marines like 1,000-fold. Infiltrator squads, I still don't think are good. I have seen the numbers for them, and a scout squad does more damage and is more useful and cheaper. I don't like the Incursor squad either. These are my personal feelings. If you like them, if you have them, by all means, field them. I think that I do want to go up against a few of them, but personally, I don't see them as that good. That is my opinion. Okay? Next up, we have the Invictus Tactical Warsuit, the Tactical Baby Carrier.
Emotional support dreadnought.
Also, the Emotional Support Dreadnought is its other nickname. This thing in Dark Angels is honestly... this thing in general is just terrifying, by the way. This thing is just good, no matter what. But flat out, this model is just good for Dark Angels because it allows your other units to get closer to what they need to, because an Invictus Tactical Warsuit is actually tough to take down for most opponents because it's right there, and if it makes that 9-inch charge, it is terrifying because your opponent suddenly goes from, haha, that thing's not going to make it, to, oh crap, now I have to deal with that thing. And if you take the 1 psychic power that slows your opponent down, and you take the Phobos Librarian, and you slow down the next unit next to it, that unit cannot move around it, thus you slow the entire opponent's army with just 2 units. meaning that the rest of your bikes can get all the way up, the rest of your Terminators can move up, and your entire army can be super efficient depending on how you decide to run it. There's 3 styles of running Dark Angels right now. Go Primaris, go Ravenwing, or play Terminators, which are okay. They're okay. They're not great, but they're okay. I like them. I'm going to try to field them. Also, you get to say it's high noon every time you shoot with it. Suppressor squads are decent. They're great. If you're doing a melee-focused Dark Angel army, I highly suggest them. If you're not, they're okay, but I would rather take other units that match the army a little bit better and do a little bit more damage statistically. Eliminators. Take Eliminators. They're amazing. I don't think anything else needs to be said. Regardless of the weapon you give them, they're amazing. They're just good. They can also be 9 inches away from your opponent. They can be far away from your army. They have a 36-inch range. They have heavy weapons. If you go into Devastator Doctrine, they're terrifying to your opponent. They reroll 1s because you're never moving them. And they're honestly, I want to field them as Dark Angels. Like, I have always wanted to field my Eliminators as Dark Angels because, holy crap, that is amazing. The Repulsor Executioner got added. The Impulsor got added. Impulsors are really good. If you're running Primaris, run the Impulsor. It's kind of just a go-to. The Repulsor Executioner is amazing. It's just good. I don't really need to explain that too much. We're going to move on. We have a few new stratagems to go over. We actually have a lot of stratagems to go over. So we're going to try to speed through this while we go into all of the rest that's in this book. By the way, I'm still on Dark Angels. I didn't even make it to the Grey Knights, nor did I make it to the Thousand Suns yet.
Oh,
so I might
space these out.
Might have to make 2 or 3 videos for this. Also, now my face is actually getting red because I am overheating.
Oh.
So I think I'm going to focus on Dark Angels, and I will change up the thumbnail, and I will change up the video itself. So I do apologize. I will film these tonight to make sure that we get them out as quickly as possible over the next few days. Queen's Court is tomorrow, so there'll probably be that and the other video, and I'll probably put the last one out on Monday. So, stratagems. Duty Eternal. That sounds like you have constipation. Dark Angel Dreadnought model from your army is chosen as a target for an attack. Until the end of the phase, when resolving attacks made against this model, half the damage inflicted. So if you are like me and you have access to Forge World Dreadnoughts, this is insane. This is honestly crazy. You keep your Dreadnought alive a lot longer than it needs to be, and it's terrifying. So next up we have Bolt Storm. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select one Dark Angel Intercessor Squad unit from your army. Until the end of that phase, auto bolt rifles that models in that unit are equipped with gain the following abilities. When resolving an attack made with these weapons against a target that is within half of the range, do not make hit rolls. They automatically score hits. Holy crap! Actually, is that good, though? Is that worth 2 CP? Okay, hear me out. You have a Chaplain, okay? Use a Chaplain Dreadnought because Chaplain Dreadnought. It has a bigger base. It is awesome. Chaplain Dreadnoughts are great. Get a Chaplain Dreadnought. If you can't get a Chaplain Dreadnought, simply get a Dreadnought from GW, put a skull on its face, get the Venerable Dreadnought kit, and go, this is my Chaplain Dreadnought. Done. You now have a Chaplain Dreadnought. Good job. It's on a 50mm base, so its range of its abilities is a lot further, by I think about a full 1.5 inches. And now it can actually affect other units, so you can actually put the ability that makes you hit on 2+ onto one unit while it's rerolling 1s because of its abilities to, be a Dark Angel and reroll 1s normally. Now you can put this on another unit, so you can have 2 units of intercessors that are pretty much always hitting. This can honestly be devastating, and this makes me want to take 2 units of 10 intercessors and just try it out, because this sounds incredible. In fact, Dark Angels are the only Space Marine army that make me want to take full units, so... That's a new one. I did not think that that was going to happen, but here we are. This is the world we live in. It's dark. It's angels. I love them. Hunter Slayer Missile. Use this on a Dark Angel Repulsor model from your army about to launch a Hunter Slayer Missile. It's the Hunter Slayer. Every army pretty much got this. Veteran Intercessors. Everybody pretty much got this. This is a old stratagem from Vigilus. So this thing has Vigilus's stratagems in it, which is pretty useful. Use the stratagem before the battle. Select one Dark Angel Intercessor Squad unit from your army that contains 5 models for 1 command point, or one Dark Angel Intercessor Squad unit from your army that contains 6 or more models for 2 command points. Add 1 to the attacks and leadership characteristic of models in that unit. Each Dark Angel Intercessor Squad can be only selected... Intercessor Squad can only be selected with the stratagem once per battle. So because it's before the game begins, you can actually spend this an infinite number of times. So you can actually choose 3 units of intercessors that are all 10 men and spend 6 command points if you truly feel like you need to. With Shock Assault, I think you're getting like 30 attacks with them. How many attacks would you get with an intercessor squad with this? I know that this is an old one and I should... Yeah, you're getting 3 attacks. That's 10. You're getting 40 attacks. 43 attacks. With... No, 41 attacks. 41 attacks with an intercessor squad in close combat. Now you put the thing that allows them to reroll 1s, like the chaplain, with them, and suddenly you have a devastating close combat force that's hitting with just strength 4, but is absolutely a nightmare for your opponent. That's 1 to 2 command points depending on the squad size. I need a drink. My throat's getting dry. Sorry about that. Rapid Fire. Use the stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select 1 Dark Angel Intercessor Squad unit from your army until the end of that phase. Bolt rifles that models in that unit are equipped with have the type characteristic of Rapid Fire 2. So you can turn your Stalker weapons into Rapid Fire weapons of 2 instead of 1, and you still keep the because that's still a Stalker, it's still a bolt rifle, isn't it? Let's see, is the bolt rifle different? I do want to make sure I don't get this wrong.
Well,
So
the bolt rifle is the main weapon for intercessors.
Oh, yeah. So it turns it into 2 instead of 1. So it's pretty decent. It can shoot up to 4 times per. That's 40 shots again. Damn.
That's a lot of shots.
If you put the chaplain's ability on them, they're hitting on 2s. You're re-rolling 1s.
With the lieutenant.
With a lieutenant, you're re-rolling the 1s to wound. Holy crap, Dark Angels just walking with bolt guns is terrifying.
Dark Angels walking with plasma guns is terrifying.
Yeah, but now they're walking with their other weapons and are still equally as terrifying.
Oh,
no. Dark Angels with weapons are terrifying, is what we're getting at.
Gas.
Legas.
High speed focus, 1 command point. Use the stratagem when a Ravenwing unit from your army is chosen as a target for an attack made with a ranged weapon. Until the start of your next movement phase, models in that unit benefit from the Jink ability even if they didn't advance, so +1 to their save. Big Guns Never Tire. That's actually a mission from last edition.
Yes.
Dark Angel vehicle unit from your army is chosen to shoot with until the end of that phase. That unit does not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons. You put this on a Leviathan Dreadnought and you walk across the field. And you have fun as your Leviathan goes, I'm gonna kill that, I'm gonna kill that, and I'm gonna kill that. By the way, get a Leviathan Dreadnought. They're really good. Vengeance of the Machine Spirit. Use the stratagem on a Dark Angel's Land Raider. Okay. Dark Angel Repulsor or Dark Angel Storm Raven gunship model. Oh, I get it. They all have Machine Spirit. is destroyed, that model can either automatically explode, shoot with one of its
What?
ranged weapons as though it were your shooting phase, or make one attack with its melee weapons as though it's your fight phase.
I want a stratagem that can easily explode a vehicle.
I can do that as Mechanicus.
Yeah. I don't get why orcs don't have more of
That
that.
sounds
Yeah.
very orky.
Yeah, why wouldn't orcs be able to explode
I feel
with a command
cheated.
point?
So
Maybe orcs get it in their Psychic Awakening.
they actually, I think they do have something along those lines.
Increases
Dread
the
it.
chances, but it.
Run from it. The Leviathan always arrives. So,
Jeez.
a Storm Raven gunship that explodes is absolutely terrifying because of how big that model is. You actually measure from its base, so it's oval, so it's actually smaller. But a Land Raider exploding, that's pretty cool. But a Repulsor exploding, that's terrifying. Target selected. Use the stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select one Dark Angel Intercessor squad from your army. Until the end of that phase, Stalker bolt rifles that model is in that unit are equipped with gain the following abilities. This weapon can target character. Oh my god, this weapon can target characters. That's pretty scary.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's that good stuff. Just saying, that's pretty good. Okay. I read this as Fist of Fury because I thought of Kung Pao. So,
God damn it.
by the way, that last one is 3 command points, so it's not really worth it, but it's still pretty cool. It's not worth it if you take eliminators, but if you don't take eliminators, shooting a character 10 times is really good. Use a stratagem in any phase. Select one Deathwing Terminator unit from your army until the end of that phase. When resolving attacks made by a model within this unit, add 1 to the hit roll. They hit on 2s and 3s
Finally.
with their Power Fist. But they hit
Deathwing
on
Knight?
2s! But Deathwing Knights, Deathwing Terminators, this also includes the special Terminators whose name I'm forgetting at this current moment. I think they're just called Deathwing Knights.
Yeah.
They would be hitting on 2s, but this is also...
Hold on. Let me see something. I want to
When
check
resolving
something.
attacks made with... Oh, you can do this for shooting, too. So when you come in, you spend a command point to fire automatically. You spend the command point again to hit on 2s. Then you go into the next phase. You spend a command point so they can shoot better. Then during the fight phase, if you make it into your target, you spend the command point and they can attack better. So your Terminators suddenly become good and useful for 3 command points, 4 command points, possibly 5 command points. I want to try it out.
Okay.
Also, if you have a squad of 10 Terminators, now we're doing galaxy brain thinking on this, okay? Okay, galaxy level thinking, all right? You're not ready for this. I know, you're on the edge of your seat. You need to calm down, okay? We got you, okay? Here's what you need to do. 10-man unit of Terminators, okay? This is the big brain think. Take an assault cannon, all right? 2 assault cannons. You're spending a lot of points on this, and you might be thinking, Alexis, just take the Cyclone Missile Launcher. Well, you're right, because the Cyclone Missile Launcher also works in this case. Take either of those weapons, but take 2 of one of those weapons, not 1 of each. Okay. Drop in your Terminators. Spend the command point so that they can fire at something, okay? Spend another command point. Now they hit on 2s with their ranged weapons. They have a bunch of Storm Bolters. Those Storm Bolters are shooting 4 times apiece with 8 of those Terminators. So that's a ton of shots. Then you have the Assault Cannons hitting 12 times in the phase that they deep striked, which is movement phase. Okay, keep that in mind. This is big brain, galaxy level brain thinking. Okay, then the next phase, they get to shoot because it's the shooting phase. So you spend the command point again, they hit on 2s. Now you fire again at a different target, or you finish off the first target that you shot at. Then during the assault phase, if something is still close enough to you, you charge it. Needing the 9-inch charge, but, having a 30% chance of making it is still kind of worth it. If you make it into combat, you spend another command point to make them actually hit well. Boom! I made Terminators good for Dark Angels. I did it. I'm taking full credit for that. I found a use for my Terminators. I am so happy about that.
Woo.
Use the stratagem in your shooting phase. This is steady advance. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase when a Dark Angel infantry unit from your army is chosen to shoot with. Until the end of that phase, for the purposes of Bolter Discipline ability, that unit is treated as though it remains stationary in your previous movement phase. Now, the cool thing about this is you can use it on your Terminators.
Oh.
Wait, they don't move when they deep strike.
Yes, you do. You're counted as moving.
Yeah, because you entered the battlefield.
Yep. So, you get to reroll ones now. So you're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. So, boom. This is beyond galaxy level thinking. This is galactic level thinking.
Extra galactic level thinking.
Yeah, this is thinking so hard that it accidentally attracted more Tyranids. Oopsie daisy, my bad, but I do want my children coming to me, so I love them. The Norn Queen, after all. Hero of the chapter. This is the same thing as every other codex. They all got this at this point. Let's see. The next one, Gene-Wrought Might. Use the stratagem in the fight phase when a Dark Angel Primaris infantry unit from your army is chosen to fight with. Until the end of that phase, when resolving attacks made by melee weapons by models in that unit, an unmodified roll of a 6 automatically scores a hit and successful wound to the target. So if you already did everything, the veterans and all of the other abilities, you can actually get in and make your intercessors hurt more to your opponent, and yeah, it's kind of terrifying. Not rolling to wound is amazing, by the way, if that's not obvious. Okay, stand firm. Deathwing Terminators, we are going to make them good. I promise you, they are going to be golden. Use the stratagem when a Deathwing Terminator unit from your army is chosen as a target for an attack. Until the end of that phase, increase the toughness. They did it!
What?
They increased their toughness!
Brothers, get the mariachi.
They made Terminators useful!
Oh my god.
They said it could not be done.
No, they're toughness 5.
Yeah, isn't it +1?
So, they're toughness 5 now. They're toughness 4 normally.
What?
My God.
So,
Yeah.
we now have useful Terminators, but I would only use this on one squad, by the way. I would still only take one 10-man squad.
I need to go assemble my Deathwing Terminators, excuse me. Thank you.
Okay, targeting guidance. Use the stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select one enemy unit within 12 inches of a visible to a Ravenwing Landspeeder unit in your army. By the way, this also includes the lieutenant in Landspeeder because he has these keywords. Until the end of that phase, when resolving an attack made by a model in a friendly Dark Angel unit against this unit, you can reroll the hit. Roll. So that's pretty good for your intercessors, especially if you take a lieutenant in the Landspeeder, the Talon Master, and move it up so that it is within 6 inches. That way you can now shoot with your intercessors and shoot better, or you can walk up some Terminators and shoot better. I can't believe I'm actually advising Terminators. This is bizarre for me.
Yeah, they used to be hot garbage.
I'm sorry, I just saw this comment. I don't understand anything, but this lady is very pretty and has a pleasant voice. Oh, thank you. I have a terrible voice.
Shut up.
What are you talking about?
Okay, let's continue. Full throttle.
Uh-oh.
Oh my. Use the stratagem in your movement phase after moving a Raven Wing unit from your army. You can make a second movement with that unit. So if you get up to the Phobos Marine, you can move 3 times with a Raven Wing unit.
Jeez.
That's neat. I like that. Okay, combined assault. Use the stratagem at the end of your movement phase when you set up a Deathwing unit from your army using Deep Strike. You can set up that unit wholly within 6 inches of a friendly Ravenwing biker unit that has not advanced this turn and more than 6 inches away from an enemy model. Oh, is that good? So let me read the full throttle thing again. You make a second movement with that unit this phase, and that unit can advance as part of that move if it has not already advanced this phase. So you can take a Ravenwing unit, move it 12 again. So it's 24 inches across the field. So now it's within 6 inches of your opponent, and then Deep Strike the Terminators just a little bit away. So now your Terminators only need to make a 7-inch charge. Actually, a 6-inch charge.
Hey, Alexis. You can use Ravenwing Knights because they move 14 inches.
Oh my god, yeah. So you can move again, use Speed of the... actually, you don't even need to use Speed of the Raven because they only moved. Wow. Wow, that is good. Oh, thank you for the subscription. Wow, Dark Angels just got a massive boost to their Terminators. A 6-inch charge is so much easier to make than a 9-inch charge. Oh my god.
Oh, and also, yeah, when Black Knights advance, they just automatically get a 6.
Yeah, but you don't want to advance.
Okay, yeah.
You want to move, then move again. You want to spend the command point. Then you want to drop in with 2 command points. Then you want to spend another command point. You're spending all of your command points to do this, by the way. So you're going to take, like, a few scouts to do this. Okay. How would I do this? How am I going to break this? 1 10-man unit with 2 assault cannons. Maximize the amount of shots. Okay. 1 Ravenwing Black Knight unit with plasma. Okay. Then they all have the pick weapon. All right. Then we take 30 infantry of intercessors. Ooh. Do we do 1 10-man and then the rest 5? No, we have to do... Okay, so we can only do this with 1. So we have 1 10-man unit of intercessors, then 5 units of scouts, because you have to do this, 4 HQs, as cheap as possible. One of those has to be a lieutenant in land speeder, the Ravenwing master, whatever they're called. I cannot remember. I do apologize about that. Talon master. Thank you. So then you have an army that deep strikes and pretty much use the rest of your points for eliminators or something else. That's a pretty devastating force. Okay. Transhuman physiology. This is in all of the other abilities. So if you use this on a Dark Angel unit that is not a vehicle or a servitor, 1, 2s, and 3s to wound always fail. You can put this on your Terminators, set a toughness 5 now. So those big weapons are not going to hurt them. Wow, you can make Terminator survivable with Dark Angels. Holy cow, this is insane to think about. Adaptive strategy. I think this just changes the doctrine immediately for you. Let's see the next one. Use the stratagem in the fight phase when a Ravenwing bike unit from your army that has made a charge move or was charged this turn is chosen as a target for attacks. Until the end of that phase, they have 5+ saves, 5+ info saves, so that's pretty good. Outnumbered but never outmatched. Yo, that is my level of narcissism, by the way. So let's see what this does. Use the stratagem in the fight phase. When a Deathwing unit from your army is chosen to fight with until the end of that phase, add 1 to the attack characteristics of models in that unit. If that unit targets an enemy unit consisting of 10 or more models. So you're going to be... Wait, is that Oh, wait. In that unit, if the target has... Enemy unit contains 10 or more models. So what happens if you do a multi-target?
Well,
I think it has to be
it says
just a
just
singular
one,
unit.
so
Add one
Yeah.
to the attack characteristics of models in that unit. If that unit targets an enemy unit containing... Okay, no, it has to be the ones that attack that 10-man unit, because I was thinking, like, you put 1 into the 10-man unit and 9 into everything else.
god damn it.
Okay, Honored of the Rock, Honored by the Rock. Use the stratagem after nominating a model drawn from the Dark Angel Successor chapter. I don't care. You're taking Dark Angels. You're not taking Successor chapters. Nobody does. Except if you're taking the Successor chapter traits, which are completely different and entirely different. They are different. Okay?
Listen.
So, from there, we have the Warlord traits for the Vanguard, which are pretty much garbage. We have the Deathwing and Ravenwing Warlord traits, which both have 3.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go with the Deathwing first, because I am hyped up about Deathwing, so let's go with this. Lay Low the Mighty. You can reroll wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons against characters, character units, or units with wounds characteristic of 8 or more by models in a friendly Deathwing unit whilst their unit is within 6 inches of this Warlord. So if you deep strike, there's a chance that you can deep strike within 6 inches and thus have all of the abilities and everything. So this can be good.
Like it.
Number 2, when resolving an attack made against this Warlord, an unmodified roll of a 1 through 3 always fails. Okay. Just fails. Like, it also includes that if the weapon would wound on, like, a 2+, it still fails. So that's really good. That means your Terminator captain can actually be devastating.
Yeah.
Just saying. That's really solid. But
Hold
it
on.
doesn't benefit the army, so I don't know about this one.
Question. So, like, what's the requirements for giving them the Deathwing Warlord traits?
I think they just have to have the Deathwing keyword. If a Deathwing character model is your Warlord, yeah, you can use these.
So could you just pop Inner Circle on a Jump Captain?
I think Jump Captains have.
I don't think they have it by default. At least not in this codex.
So how is the one stratagem worded?
Inner Circle. Let me pull it up.
Because this matters.
Okay. And use this stratagem before the battle. Select a Dark Angels Master, Dark Angels Dreadnought, or Dark Angels Land Raider from your army. That model gains the Deathwing keyword and the Inner Circle ability, page 74, for the duration of the battle.
So you could make you could take a Chaplain Dreadnought and make your HQ and make it so that 1 through 3 don't wound it.
Jeez.
Just saying, that is the thing. Also, yes, that does sound like it's tax. But I can be wrong, so if I am wrong, please tell me in the comment section down below. Watched. Okay. Once per battle in your opponent's psychic phase, this Warlord can attempt to resist 1 psychic power in the same manner as Psyker by... Yeah, it's Deny the Witch. Personally, I like number 2 being the best because it's transhuman physiology. And I like the idea of putting that on his Dreadnought. Because Dreadnoughts being shot with weapons and only being wounded on a 4+. Like a las cannon shooting it and only wounding on a 4+ is huge, by the way. That's galaxy level brain thinking. Alright, so let's see what the Ravenwing one is. Impractical mobility. Whilst they are within 6 inches of this Warlord, Ravenwing units from your army do not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons for advancing and firing assault weapons. That's good. That is pretty good. So you take your Warlord and you make him a land speeder because it's big and it has the Ravenwing keywords. And then you take 2 others, put it next to it, And you have triple land speeders that have double assault cannons, double heavy bolters, and 3 power swords between all 3 of them. And that's pretty decent. And you could also move, advance, and yeah. Tactical flexibility. Once per battle, at the start of the battle round, you can select a combat doctrine that is not currently active until the end of the battle round. When resolving an attack made by a model with a friendly Ravenwing unit within 6 inches of your Warlord, you can treat the chosen doctrine as being active instead of currently active doctrine. That is super efficient. That means you can get the tactical doctrine, and at the same time, if you've moved up and you want to affect a Deathwing unit, you can switch them to the assault doctrine while maintaining the tactical doctrine across the entire army, or the Devastator doctrine across the entire army, and just select one unit and be like, you guys are in the assault doctrine. Go get them. Go. Go get them, Deathwing Knights. Okay. Well, actually, this only works on Ravenwing, so you'd switch it around. But yeah. At the start of the first battle round, before the first turn begins, this Warlord and one other Ravenwing unit from your army can move up to 12 inches as though it were your movement phase. They cannot advance as part of this movement. These units must end their movement more than 9 inches away from any enemy model. If both players have a unit that can move before the battle begins, the player who'd taken the first turn moves this unit first. Super efficient, especially if you... Well, now, it means you can get up to your opponent quicker. So if you take a bunch of Primaris Phobos Marines, you have your entire army within 9 inches of your opponent turn 1. So you could rocket them pretty easily. And next, we're going to go over the relics. I can't believe I'm going to have to split this video into 3 parts because of how long this is going.
You've just done 1.5 hours on only Dark Angels.
I talked about a way of playing with Demon Worlds. Okay, Reliquary of the Repentant. Ravenwing bike models only. Worsen the invulnerable save of enemy units by 1. Take this.
Wow.
Please don't.
Take this. That might be the... While stay within 3 inches of a model with this relic. You put this on a land speeder. Land speeders are bigger than everything else that it can be a Warlord in your army. Or you take this on a Dreadnought. And the Dreadnought happily punches through literally everything in the army.
Didn't those relics say bike models only or something?
Yes, Ravenwing bikes only.
Yeah.
Ravenwing bikers only, so you can't put this on the land speeder. My bad. So this is okay. It's actually really good.
It messes with
Ravenwing Talon Master adds 6 inches to the range characteristic of its ranged weapons. That's pretty good. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by this model with this relic, add 1 to the hit roll. So he hits on 2s. It's pretty good. Goes up to 36 inches, I think. Well, he has 2 heavy bolters, so that's 36 plus 4 is 42 inches. And he has the assault cannon, which is 24, which goes up to 30 inches. If he takes the line, he's within your opponent's range turn 1. The Blade of Burden. God, that's edgy. Deathwing Master. Model with a power sword only. It's a strength 6 AP -2, 2 damage sword. Hey, look, you got a sword that's better than the new character.
Oof.
When resolving attacks made with this weapon, an unmodified roll of a 6 inflicts 2 mortal... Wow, it's way better. It inflicts 2 mortal wounds on the target. Wow, it's just really good. Penitent of Remembrance. Deathwing Ancient model only. So, finally, a reason to bring a Terminator with a banner. When a friendly Deathwing infantry model within 6 inches of a model with this relic loses a wound, on a 5+, that wound is not lost.
Nice.
So, you drop in your 10-man Terminator squad, you pop the superhuman physiology on them, you pop the other ability on them, and you take this relic with a banner. You have toughness 5, can only be wounded on 4+ Terminators with a feel no pain.
And Alexis, the Deathwing Ancient, gives them an extra attack.
Yo, I want to run Deathwing. I want to run Deathwing.
The mariachis.
I need Terminators.
At that point, might as well just throw the Deathwing Apothecary in there.
Oh my god, yes. Yo, yes. Okay, so let's move on. The Jingly Keychain. It has an actual name. I'm going to call it the Jingly Keychain because it's funny. Deathwing models only. Add 1 to the strength and attack characteristics of a model with this relic. Okay. All right.
No, it's okay.
Pretty good. So you put it on Deathwing. You could put it on a Chaplain Dread, because Chaplain Dread is a character, and isn't a named character, by the way.
Didn't it say Terminators?
No, just Deathwing.
Oh,
They are part of the Deathwing.
are Dreadnoughts?
You
You spend a command point.
Yeah, you.
Oh, right. Okay. They don't have it
I don't think
naturally
it's
then.
Strength and. Oh my god, you can have a Strength 10 Smash Captain. Wow. Neat. With 7 attacks on the charge. Holy crap, that's really efficient. So that's all the relics that we got. All the new relics, they're really good. The banner one is probably the best. Then we have the special issue War Gear, which is, yeah. Here we go. The mantle, when a model with this relic loses a wound, roll a d6 on a 5+ feel no pain. Artificer armor has a saving characteristic of 2+ and a 5+ invo save. Okay. Artificer armor adding a 5+ invo save is nice, but the only things that are going to take this are going to have a 5+ or a 4+, or be a Chaplain Dreadnought with a 2+ save. By the way, if I haven't advised, get a Chaplain Dreadnought. They're really good. They're also in HQ. Mastercrafted weapons. It tells you what the mastercrafted weapons do. Digital weapons. When a model with this relic fights, make 1 additional attack using its close combat profile. When resolving an attack, if a hit is scored, the target suffers 1 mortal wound, and then the attack sequence ends. So 1 additional mortal wound is pretty decent.
Is this worse than the other digiweapons that I've seen? Because I feel like other digiweapons that I've seen are D3.
Yeah, it's usually D3.
Yeah, so this is a nerfed version of that.
It's not bad, though. It's probably going to be the future version of all of them.
Maybe.
The gaze, when resolving
Hopefully
an attack made by a model but this relic, ignore negative hit roll modifiers and ballistic skill modifiers. When firing Overwatch, the bear successfully hits using its ballistic skill rather than on 6s. Holy cow, that's good.
Did you just call them the gaze?
Yeah. It's Arbiter's Gaze. That's the name of this.
Gaze.
So I'm gonna giggle at that.
I mean, they are the Dark Angels.
Stop. Before I get demonetized.
You're not getting demonetized.
Okay, the angels, increase the range of the aura by 3 inches, which could be useful, especially for a Chaplain Dreadnought. I'm going to keep saying the Chaplain Dreadnought until people are like, fine, Alexis, I'll get a Chaplain Dreadnought. All right, and Bolts of Judgment. When you give a model this relic, select 1 bolt weapon. On page 34, this model is equipped with. When that model shoots with this weapon, you can choose to fire the Bolt of Judgment. If you do, that model can only make 1 attack with this weapon. But the weapon has an armor penetration characteristic of -2 and the damage characteristic of 3 for that attack. When resolving that attack, a wound of a 6+ successful if the target is a vehicle or a monster. Otherwise, it's a 2+. So it's an okay weapon. It's not great. Did I mention Chaplain Dreadnought? Then we have the Litanies of Battle and the Name Generator. And you know what? I kind of want to roll for a name.
Uh-oh, it's gonna be dumb.
It is going to be dumb. So let's see what we get. That is a 3. So we have the 30s. And that's going to be, it's going to be 30. So we have, oh wow, I just rolled a d10. So it's going to be 31. Okay. So, Nariel, which sounds like a disease. I keep rolling 7 on my d10. Wow, I literally keep rolling 7. So 1 at 11. So Neariel. Good job. That's my Dark Angel name, apparently. Then we have all the point costs and everything. Some of the point costs went down. You used Battlescript. And I am going to tell you my final thoughts on the Dark Angels. Holy cow, they are terrific. They are very good. I would have run an army of Terminators.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. I would have run one 10-man unit of Terminators and call that my army. Oh my god, Ariel. It's a Disney princess. God damn it. So, I want to know all of your thoughts. I really, really, really want to hear all of this. And this is actually really cool to me because Dark Angels for a long time were like the mediocre. They're not as bad as Space Wolves or Deathwatch or Grey Knights, which we're still going to get into Grey Knights. They got an update. But it is really cool to see the Dark Angels getting some love and some desperately needed support. So now that we actually have all of this, I can't wait to actually play my Space Marines as Dark Angels. Because I did a homebrew. They're the Sons of Garrow. They're literally whatever I say they are. Because that's the good part about having your own custom chapter is you get to do that. So I'm going to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think is good? What do you think is overpowered? What do you think is broken? And I know I just said overpowered and broken, but overpowered and broken are two different things, by the way. Just saying. So, give me your thoughts. Also, did we have any questions?
A lot.
All right, let's get some of those questions. What do we got?
Oh, let's start from the top.
Also, Terminator's making a comeback. Yes, at least one 10-man unit. I really want to run a 10-man unit of Terminators.
Did the line return yet? No. Rockstar asked, wait, did Alexis get a copy of the book already?
Yes.
No.
No, you're just making this all up.
Okay. What's the next one?
Scrolling through, I should
Keep scrolling, scrolling.
What?
How many
Hold on.
questions? A lot of people commenting.
Here, I have no doubt that this is one of those abilities that's either currently is useless or has some sort of broken application when combined with some sort of obscure ability you never heard of.
You know what? More than likely.
I mean, they are talking about the command point one, so maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does this make a good excuse to buy Dark Angels? I assume so.
Yeah, I'll be buying Dark Angels.
The Eldritch God says, speed kills, basic game theory. Some damage now is better than more damage next action. You never know when the target will be dead from something else, thus rendering your attack pointless.
So in higher up games, you're going to need to know what target priority is and when to stop shooting a unit. In more advanced gameplay, which this is something that a lot of people miss, they try to overextend and try to kill something turn one. Killing something turn one is extremely useful and extremely good. It guarantees you a point, but at the same time, it leaves you dangerously exposed if you don't do it right. It's better to have a devastating second turn than a reaching first turn. If you run in with all guns blazing and hoping for the best, chances are you're not going to do that well in the following turns, which could affect your third turn and even fourth and fifth turn as you push in because your opponent will punish you for your mistake that you made. Keep in mind, placement is extremely important in this game. The first turn of 40k, your first turn is setup, not tabling. Second turn is attacking. Third turn is pressuring. And then fourth and fifth turn, that's determining. Now, I could go into more detail about that. Essentially, it is how it sounds. So, yeah. Next question.
Let's see. Okay, here's one. I accidentally scroll down. The master crafted bolters seem cool, but they need a new plasma weapon, maybe, or a melee weapon since a knife is all they have, I think.
Yeah.
Heck, even fluff wise, it makes no sense that the deep cover operatives and infiltrators would only have combat knives and bolt carbines.
In all fairness, what do our Marines have of today?
Yeah, but these aren't our
carbine.
Marines of today.
And I mean, a big-ass knife is still a big-ass knife. It's still really good. It's more or less, it's not that they're taking a weapon like a power sword that's glowing and super powerful. They're going to kill the thing that they are after by sheer number of attacks. Especially now with the ability to gain one attack when you charge. It's really powerful with characters. You're looking at 5-6 attacks when you charge alone. With one person. Now, keep in mind that you can actually have 2 to 3 squads of these guys doing this. You're looking at like 60 to 70 attacks. If you gave them any type of power weapon, it's a bit broken. It's not overpowered, but it's broken. Now, overpowered would be you gave them... Wait,
Isn't...
That's the other way around.
I think, yeah, the other way around, because overpowered is not as bad as broken.
Yeah. Overpowered would be that they make all of those attacks and everything, and they have like chain swords, where broken would be they all have power weapons. Which is why Primaris Marines are staying away from power weapons because of their sheer number of attacks. Their damage output is extremely high as is. They don't really need the power weapons. They're going to kill it by sheer weight of numbers. Case in point, I do this all the time when I bring 40 Stalker Bolters. I'm going to kill it. I know I'm going to. My strength 4, doesn't matter. I'm going to kill it. I have weight of numbers. Now, you could do the same thing with bolt guns. 2 shots, storm bolters, you activate some of the doctrines, give them -1 to wound, -1 AP. They're going to tear through pretty much everything. Now, let's get the next question if we could.
All right. Let's see. When do you plan on doing the Grey Knight and the Thousand Suns? Tomorrow? Monday? I need to know what they did with my Sidequick Marine
Marinelets.
I do plan to go over it tonight after I get done with what I plan to do after this and after I get some food. So I do want to actually dive into this tomorrow. So I'll probably post a video for the Thousand Suns or Grey Knights tomorrow, if not Monday. So stay tuned for that. Do you feel like melee is going to be more relevant in the future of this game? I can tell you this. Those that don't believe that this is a shooting and melee game are losing games. If you think that you can't get into melee because your opponent's army is out shooting you, you are not playing your Marines correctly. Marines should be able to get into melee by turn 2, turn 3. Because of how your opponent deploys, and you need to know your target priorities. If you're playing Primaris, you're getting into combat turn 2. It doesn't matter. You charge one thing and then you pile into everything else. And if you can, you keep one thing alive so that you can surround it with a unit. This way, you can force your opponent to stay back from you while you're safe in combat. Combat is extremely important in this edition, and we're seeing Space Marines table people without taking a single power weapon. With just melee alone. Melee is devastating, by the way. Especially with things like Dark Blood Angels. They're horrifying. Okay, next one.
Question: if going with your $100 list of Blood Angels, where would you go after that for a good melee list?
So you could go with Intercessors. Intercessors get 5 attacks per if you take the Death Company. They're ridiculously good. 5 attacks, 50 Marines attacking, or 50 attacks from a 10-man Marine squad. So I would highly suggest you go with that. If you want a more fast-paced and assaulty army, go with Vanguard veterans. Give them all like a type of power weapon that you choose. The Power Maul and Power Axe happen to be my favorites. I don't know if they're still in the game, but they might be legend. If they are, oh well, go with the Lightning Claw or the Thunderhammer or literally any power weapon of your choosing. Get a 10-man squad and just rock it at your opponent. All right, what do we got? I see one more question.
Yep. Is there any reason lore-wise why they didn't get them ASAP, being the chapter specializing in fighting chaos / demons?
He's talking about Grey Knight
Knights.
Primaris.
Yes.
Do Grey Knights have primaries?
They do
They
not.
don't. And I'm pretty sure they've mentioned that they're not getting them.
I wonder why.
I don't know. They're the only Space Marine chapter that doesn't. So
Wow, they literally have one thing in here. One. Wow, they really should have just given them. Like, sales-wise, there's no real reason. Like, lore-wise, yeah, you can argue that maybe the Grey Knights don't trust them because they come from Belisarius Call. They're an anathema to the Emperor's great work, blah, 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 blah. You can give me a bunch of stupid reasons. But I want to know an actual reason, like, from a sales perspective. Like, make a Grey Knight upgrade kit and sell intercessors. Make the sergeant a psyker. Done.
Well, for some reason they didn't.
Isn't their gene seed driven from the Emperor? So that comes from Matt Ward's lore back in 5th edition, and technically, yes, it does. But everybody ever has decreed that Matt Ward's writing does not count and is not in any way, shape, or form even part of the 40k universe anymore. In fact, most of his stuff has been rewritten.
If you want to get really technical about it, technically every gene seed is derived from the Emperor.
Yeah.
This doesn't get mentioned in the Grey Knights Codex anymore.
Yeah, like, it's not mentioned anymore, so it's more like a rumor or a myth or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sales perspective, maybe they'll have Grey Knights cross Rubicon. Yeah, they will.
They've said they won't. So that's them, not us.
Although GW has said many things.
Let's not. All right. So with all of that answered, I'd like to end this and thank all of you for joining me. You guys have been awesome. I want to thank my crew here, consisting of White, John, and my fiance, Victor, or Vicky the GM. If you guys want to say your goodbyes, please go ahead.
Farewell.
See ya.
I guess Victor does not.
Bye.
Anyway, guys, I want to thank all of you for joining me and all of you for donating during this stream and all of you who have followed this channel for so long. You guys have been awesome and I love each and every single one of you. Please be sure to follow me on social media. You can see it in all the links right down here. You can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you're super awesome, you can actually check out my Patreon and donate there. That really actually helps me considerably. It has made this dream a reality. And I want to thank each and every single one of you. As always, I'm Egoqueenalexis. I love you guys. Bye.